Today we are in Como in northern Italy, and we're taking the Lake Como ferry from Como to Bellagio. Set in the foothills of the Alps, the Huffington Post has described Lake Como as the most beautiful lake in the world. So we are really excited about today's adventure. I'm going to tell you what this ferry ride entails, including where we went and what we did. So by watching this video to the end, I will show you what you will see and the things to look out for. Lake Como is shaped like an upside-down letter Y, with three slender branches that meet in the middle at Bellagio. Como is at the bottom of the southwest branch. Bellagio is about 30 kilometres or 20 miles from Como. Because the ferry zigzags across the lake to stop at villages along the way, it takes a bit over 2 hours to do the trip between the two towns. The ferry costs about €11 each way. Generally, we found that the left or port side of the ferry gave the best views because there are more towns along the way on this side, and the ferry tends to stay closer to the western shore during the trip. While people have inhabited the area for many years, the actual township of Como was only established during Julius Caesar's reign. It became an important centre on the trade route between Italy and Switzerland. Many historical people, including Pope Innocent XI in 1611, have been born in Como. The mid-morning ferry is the most crowded of all the ferries during the day. As you can see from the crowds, it is best to arrive early and get your ticket. The ticket office stops selling tickets when the ferry is full, and many people in this line missed out on a ticket for this ferry. Once you buy your ticket, there is very limited seating on the wharf for tourists, so be prepared for a long stand while waiting to board. Notice the number of people still in the queue for tickets as we left the wharf. The first leg of our trip took us about 10 minutes up the lake to Tavernola, with its 14th century bell and clock tower. This part of the cruise gave us views back to Como and of the Como fountain outside Villa Genio. From Tavernola, we took 15 minutes to reach Moltrasio, which is known for its historic villas and manicured gardens. The oldest artefact found in the Moltrasio area is a copper axe dating back to the period between 2500 and 2000 BC. From Moltrasio, we took 45 minutes to zigzag up the lake to Argegno, with its medieval arched bridge, which is still in use. This part of the lake has many villages dotted along its western shore. In all, Lake Como has 24 villages and towns along its 160-kilometre shoreline. This area marks the narrowest part of Lake Como at about 500 metres, or 1/3 of a mile, across. Many celebrities have owned villas along this part of the lake, including Paul McCartney, George Clooney and the Beckhams. The next leg of the cruise to Lenno took about 35 minutes. This part of the trip goes over the deepest part of the lake. At 425 metres, or nearly 1,400 feet deep, the bottom of the lake is over 200 metres, or over 700 feet below sea level. At this point, can I ask two things of you? If you have any extra information that will help others, please add a comment. And if you find this video helpful in any way, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And we will give you the lowdown on other places that you might be interested in exploring. We passed Isola Comacina, which is the only island on the lake. South of Lenno is Villa del Balbianello, with its elaborate terraced gardens. Villa del Balbianello was originally built in 1787 as a Franciscan monastery. It is recognised as one of the grandest villas on the lake and has been the setting for many movies, including one of the Star Wars movies. From Lenno, it was a short 10-minute hop up to Tremezzo. The most notable buildings in Tremezzo are its Grand Hotel and the Villa Carlotta with its beautiful botanic gardens. The small village of Mazzegra, just north of Lenno, is where Mussolini was captured in 1945 while trying to flee Italy to Switzerland. Bellagio, on the other side of the lake, could be seen as the ferry docked in Tremezzo. From Tremezzo, it was 10 minutes across the lake to Bellagio. Bellagio is on the promontory that juts into the lake where the two southern arms join. I recommend that the first thing to do when arriving in Bellagio is to book your return trip to make sure you get on the ferry to return to Como. We read that there was a tourist train which shows people around Bellagio, but we waited about an hour in the piazza and it did not show up, so don't rely on this being available. The other way to explore Bellagio is by climbing a lot of stairs. We found a nice place to have lunch in the Grand Hotel Villa Serbellonito that overlooked their pool and the lake. The hotel was built in the 1850s and still has many of the original fittings. The return trip to Como was only about 1.5 hours because the ferry made a lot fewer stops on the return trip. The mountains around the lake range in height from 600 metres or 2,000 feet in the south to 2,400 metres or 8,000 feet in the north. The edge of the lake at the foot of these mountains is covered with fig, pomegranate, olive, chestnut and oleander trees. Although pollution has affected fishing in the lake, it is still well stocked with trout, eels and a variety of herring. So that is our day on Lake Como. If you want to see more of what Lake Como has to offer, check out our snapshots from Lake Como video. There is a link to this below. Lake Como is a very lovely part of Italy, and the views and scenery are breathtaking. However, you need much more than a day to explore this beautiful lake, and the fascinating villages dotted along its shore.